today. But I've got a very exciting deck to play, and that takes precedence over everything else in my life. This is a Jund Saga deck that is trying to go way, way, way over the top. With a combination of cards here: Bitter Reunion, Titania, Protector of Argoth, and Goryo's Vengeance. There's a lot of sort of like creativity persist decks with Bitter Reunion that try to give Archon of Cruelty haste, which is a pretty good plan. And I was just kind of looking for a different shell. You know, I thought that those ideas were pretty fleshed out. I wanted to see if there was anything else competitive to be doing with them. And I kind of circled back to this shell, where there's been a lot of decks where I've tried to play Titania, Protector of Argoth, and then Urza Saga to find Zuran Orb. And this is a good card. This is a card that sees play in as one of like Eladamri's Call to target, just as a value card. You make a ton of power with Titania Zuran Orb. It's a pretty powerful effect. But there have been really many times I've played with Titania. I just wish I could give these 5/3s haste. And Bitter Reunion is kind of like a perfect card to tie the room together here, where you get to discard Titania, Goryo's Vengeance, and even if you don't have Zuran Orb off Saga, a lot of times you go turn 2 Bitter Reunion, play fetch land for turn because you have a lot of fetch lands, Goryo's Vengeance or Titania, bring back a fetch land, get 3 5/5s, and then give them all haste and hit for 15 on turn 3. And what's cool about this shell compared to the Archon of Cruelty variant is that Titania is just a hard castable card. You just cast this card. And so, while a lot of Reanimator variants, combo decks like this are, weak to cheap 1-for-1s and it can be, hated out. The fact that you just get to hardcast everything is really nice, and the fact that you have Saga and Wrenn and Six for Haywire Mite and Boseiju for a lot of disenchants for opposing graveyard hate is really nice too. Soul of Windgrace is a card that also ties the room together really well, being like a fine legend to Goryo's Vengeance, something that ramps you well in Titania, something that recurs Urza Saga, a good mana sink as well. You can also Goryo's Vengeance a Ragavan, which I did like one time in my playtesting, and it was not it was something. It was better than nothing. The deck's pretty sweet. The deck's pretty sweet. Do you think you should go +1 land? I don't know if you're saying that to jinx me because of yesterday. I don't think that, no. We are 24 land, 4 Wrenn and 6 Mox Amber deck. We have 25 mana sources, although maybe Mox Amber is not always mana source, but 24 lands, 4 Wrenn and 6s. You're going to hit your land drops. You're going to hit your land drops, at least enough of the time. Okay, we have Zuran Orb. Don't play Reality Hemorrhage. I think you can just combo kill them. I don't even know if they're like bringing in Sanctifier against you that often, but you can combo to kill them. You can play Engineered Explosives instead. Don't play Reality Hemorrhage in this deck ever. Yeah, I do think Emery plus Haywire Mite is a big part of the reason to play. Oh, my opponent just molded 3. I do think Haywire Mite plus Emery is a big reason to play Teamer as well. So yeah, Teamer over DRC. Do you think that the deck needs a kind of effect and iteration for research development? Okay, are you talking about this deck? Does this deck need that kind of effect and iteration for research development? I assume you're talking about Breach. I don't think so. I think that Wrenn and 6 and a few other cards provide excellent resource development. Urza Saga, Ledger Shredder, Third Path Iconoclast, Emery, Fable the Mirror Breaker, Wrenn and 6, all give you tons of resources. Breach has tons and tons of card advantage. Breach is a card advantage card. Okay, so I put a mold to 3 and then played Utopia Sprawl. I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to Thoughtseize them and try to find out. Enchantress. I think I just take the Abundant Growth when they're so low on resources. Weird matchup. We got a lot of disenchants post-board, though. Odd to see Prismatic ending an Enchantress, I think. Maybe not that odd. I usually don't like to dash Wrenn and 6 very much in this matchup. Obviously, it's not unreasonable. So next turn, I get to a ton of power to play. No Bitter Reunion, sadly. I mean... I think I might as well cycle the Forgotten Cave. If I draw exactly Thoughtseize, I can Thoughtseize my opponent here. I think any other card is really relevant. Notably, no more fetchables either. But we also don't have to sack our entire land base. We can... I think we just have to sack 2 more lands to have lethal next turn. I guess 1 more if I ping. Can I beat Solitary Confinement? I'm gonna have a Boseiju in the deck, but this game, like, they don't have enough resources to Solitary me. They're just gonna have to sack it. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in the Haywire Mites, the Boseijus, obviously. I could Necromancer, try to Necromancer Solitary Confinement. I'm not sure. Maybe a little narrow. I'm gonna cut the Shadowspear, I'm gonna cut the Nihil Spellbomb. Probably cutting a land. Nothing really seems too bad. We could probably trim an Amber and a Soul of Windgrace too. I don't think I'm gonna bring in the Necromancer on the draw. Get ready for Recipe Blood Moons. Yeah, thankfully I've got, you know, a good amount of disenchants. Getting basic forest for Mite and Boseiju will be pretty important. Should you drop a Mire instead of Foot? Yeah, I guess so. I guess you should. I'd be doing that next. I was thinking I was dropping the Wooded Foothills because you have Sorry, hold on. I was dropping Wooded Foothills since you're adding green sources with the Boseijus. Okay, I think we put back the Vengeance here. But yeah, because you want to fetch forest, I do think that makes sense. Good name Red. Good name White. It's probably supposed to use the the Mire. I was just like fetch for Stomping Ground in my head the whole time. What do you have any opinions on Bring to Light Scapeshift and Modern with Karuga? Would that response require gifted subs? Yeah, I only respond to gifted subs. How dare you ask me a question without gifting 1,000,000 subs? I don't know. I think that deck it does not need Karuga, honestly. I think that for the most part it has an incredibly good late game, and I think that the Karuga is kind of unnecessary. I could be wrong though. I don't know. Yeah, you know, losing Wrenn and Six is better than Karuga in that deck, or access to Wrenn and Six is better than Karuga. I've actually lost loop with the Wrenn and Six Boseiju loop a few times in this matchup, so I don't know if it's time to celebrate just yet. You'd lose Valky. I think you get to keep Valky. I'm actually not 100% sure. Opponent's tapping 5 mana, which is the Sigil of the Empty Throne. Enchantress's Presence. Plus Flame Blitz. Okay. I think if I want to cast the Reunion this turn, I guess I do. Can't you Boseiju basic lands? You can't, actually. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or non-basic land. Isn't Valky 2 CMC? Yeah, I can't remember because like the MDFs or the like split cards have higher mana value. Maybe Valky is just 2 CMC. Pretty good. Does turn off their Hall of Heliod's Generosity, funny enough, which is a pretty relevant card here. See if I hit a like I guess I don't have anything that can get the Blood Moon, or they don't have anything. Although this, oh my gosh, this is so funny, because Bitter Reunion is going to count for number of enchantments in play for Sanctum Weaver, and so I can cast Titania. I can cast Titania, get back Saga, Saga triggers Titania. Then I guess I can't give it haste unless I draw a land. Oh, I guess I could have played Reunion and just not discarded a card. That line is so hard to see. That line is like impossible to see, I think. So maybe it's just better to get back a land and give the Titania haste. Or maybe instead it's actually better to just attack with the Ragavan. Titania gives me lethal next turn, and then this Wrenn and Six or Ragavan can maybe find me something useful. The Saga dies. Yeah, so if we bring back Saga Titania with Blood Moon in play, Saga dies, and we get to do the thing. We did find something very, very useful, though. Goodbye, sweet Wrenn and Six to the Flame Blitz. So they can Hall of Ethio's Generosity, but we can present lethal with the Titania this turn. And Bitter Reunion Titania is, I kind of have a suspicion, going to be one of my new favorite things to do. I was saying this yesterday with the Luminarch Aspirant into, or Esper Sentinel into Luminarch Aspirant curve. Monkey just solving everything as usual. I mean, Monkey isn't insane against Enchantress. You know what I mean? Like, against like, specifically, like, it's kind of a weird hand. Let's try it on the draw. Yeah, I think that's something I would try. This honestly looks sick, though. I'm not sure what Back to Nature would be in, oh, are they playing the Storm deck? That'd be awesome if they were. They have time to brew the Elementals Recommission. I'm a little bit stake. Oh, reveal cards, so kind of think that they might be. What if, am I ever gonna Thoughtseize my Soul of Windgrace and Goryo's Vengeance it on turn 2? I think I was just gonna Thoughtseize them. Yes, they're playing it. Okay, but they're playing a different build. They're playing Endurance, Genesis Hydra. This Karn is definitely a big problem. I'm not that far away from Delirium either to like maybe Heat Kiora. Kiora's definitely a problem too. I'm not sure like about the sideboard so much because I don't play much Pioneer at the moment. I feel like the Corvold for like Rakdos seems okay, although Rakdos is probably a good enough matchup that like dedicating a sideboard slot to it is pretty unnecessary, I imagine.
See if that's better.
How did you make it?
I descaled it.
I would really prefer not to like play test me throwing up on stream at the moment, but
okay.
Thank you. I'll try tonight after stream. Yeah, this morning I drank some coffee and I threw up, and that's just like, see if this is better, which is very sweet. She descaled the thing. That's probably what it was, but not the time to play test. Not the time. Not that there's like probably anything else to throw up at this point. Yeah, I don't think I really have many thoughts on the sideboard. I haven't played Pioneer in a while, but the main deck looks sick. I think that's my main note. Okay, definitely with the Needle. So I don't know if they're playing my... They're definitely not playing my build. They're playing Genesis Hydra, they're playing Endurance. This maybe means that they're not playing Overgrowths and stuff. If they are playing Overgrowth, I want Haywire Mite pretty bad. Maybe I can just bring one in anyways.
Do you want some Starbucks?
I guess. Did you already have your meeting?
Postponed.
Okay. I'll take some, yeah, if you want to go.
Okay. It stopped raining.
It stopped raining? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you, sweetie. Maybe I wait on the Mite until I see Overgrowth. Do I want an extra Boseiju? Maybe an extra Boseiju is fine. You can go up to... This is not a Blood Moon matchup, so you got the Wooded Foothills. You got like the third Windgrace on the draw. We have Lucy joining us, although... I thought she was about to leave because of Esther leaving. Okay, I like that we can bid a Reunion Titania into the yard. I like that we have turn 1 Thoughtseize. I like that we have turn 1 Heat for an elf. Obviously, we need to draw land, but we're 24 land deck on the draw. I think this is a okay keep. No Necromancer for the combo deck. I mean, if you Necromancer mono green, they should have plenty of like other top end cards. You know, they're Genesis Hydra, they're playing Endurance. Like, no, I mean, like Necromancer's like not. Oh, come on. Necromancer's like not even a card I like against like Pioneer mono green. You know, you just like this is just not a matchup you can afford to spend 3 mana not impacting the board in. When you Necromancer your opponent, the game has basically got to end. Alright, I have to heat that. Nice to draw runner land, though. Old Growth Troll. I was considering playing Old Growth Troll in the version I was working on. It helps with the, like, you know, untap plan if it dies. I mean, it's just like a good card overall, right? Okay, I do have Delirium for Heat now. I'm maybe somewhat likely to take like 2 hits from this, though. Maybe I'll just, like, letting the Wrenn and Six die to it's also probably fine. I don't know, maybe I'll heat it. If I do heat it, I have to crack my fetch first. I'm gonna name Karn the Great Creator here. Yeah, I guess heating it just so I can guarantee that I'm casting Titania is probably correct. Maybe I should be a little worried about Endurance here. How is Teamer Breach? I want to play a deck with Wrenn and Iteration, but 4 color is too slow and too dirty for me. I mean, don't play 4 color. Dude, Nicol Bolas? I guess they're just playing... obviously very similar to the Pioneer version. So I guess I'm going to heat the Bolas now. I don't know, like, I kind of, you know, the more I look at, like, the 3 color Breach versions, like, the versions that are really 3 colors because they're playing Wrenn and Six, the more I think you just want to cut Iteration. And I know, like, saying cutting Iteration sounds dumb, but... I mean, I really wish I could play Titania and Boseiju the Nykthos, but I don't have that luxury, unfortunately. But you just have so much card advantage as Breach. You have so much card advantage as Breach, and... I feel like people look at Expressive Iteration like a sacred cow, but I think that may be the cut, surprisingly. You could have Heated Responsive Cavalry trigger to avoid Bolas activation. That's true, yeah, that's true. I haven't played against too many Nicol Bolases, honestly. Could have returned Boseiju with Titania and play with Mox. But Titania returns it to play, not to hand. Ooh, but even here, I guess I have to chump block the Cavalier. This is gonna be tough. So untap the Nykthos. Yeah, it looks like they're just like the Pioneer version of the deck with Endurance and with Genesis Hydra. Isn't Genesis Hydra legal in Pioneer? I think I've played it like once or twice in that version. They don't have another Storm, do they? Did I miss it? Oh, they do have. There's the Genesis Hydra. We're probably going to game 3. Oh yeah, our Utopia Sprawl Arbor Elf. That's true, of course. I kind of just want to see more of the deck. But I have to chump block the Cavalier, and if I don't draw like exactly Zuran Orb, I can't even Zuran Orb because they have the Karn. All right, let's go to game 3. So I think that I don't mind how I've sideboarded. Maybe. Should I think if I want cards like Terminate? Not really. Do I want like a Nihil Spellbomb for Storm the Festival? Well, maybe also not really. This is probably fine. Let's run it back. I think maybe I don't want to cut this. Cut SS for Mite, Shadowspear for Mite. I think Shadowspear is fine in this matchup. I don't know that I want Mite. I might play the 4th Boseiju. Like Mite really just hits Utopia Sprawl. Maybe Necromancer. Necromancer is not good against this deck. Necromancer is not good against this deck in Pioneer. It's like basically the same deck as the Pioneer deck. Oh, we have the nut draw. I don't know. Necromancer is. It's also every time you stream a deck with Necromancer, people suggest it for like every single matchup. I wonder if they trade here. I'd be pretty happy with a trade. Ooh, they also have Endurance in their deck, but I can maybe get up to, if I draw a land and the Ragavan hits, I can Goryo's Vengeance in response to Endurance next turn. Also perfectly content with this trade. No fetch lands, we may have to settle for a measly 10 damage next turn. If they don't have Endurance. I could Thoughtseize first. I think because I saw Veil of Summer last game, I'm not going to. I also don't know if they saw the Goryo's Vengeance, so like trying to like worry about them playing around is maybe not as good. I feel like it's so like I feel like it's so likely they avail. I could Goryo's Vengeance Ragavan. Which, funny enough, like I don't know that this Goryo's Vengeance is going to do much else this game besides. Oh no, I could just Goryo's Vengeance. Oh, that's like this Exile, this Exile, this Exile. I guess I could Thoughtseize this Titania and Goryo's Vengeance at next turn. Alright, I guess I'll Thoughtseize. Yeah, it's maybe it was better to go for like 20 damage next turn with that line, but I think instead I'll just be hard casting Titania next turn, casting Thoughtseize this turn. Yes, there's your Veil. Hydra for 1. Yeah, Bitter Reunion is like definitely the Magic community's favorite card from this set. Kind of want to Thoughtseize stuff. I mean, that was definitely the sweet line. Could have been better. I think we're very ahead, kind of no matter what happens here, though. Alright, looks like we're 2-0 this league. Feeling pretty good. I did 0-2 drop the first one, though. 50% rate at the moment. Of course, my losses were bullshit, and my wins were hard-earned and deserved. Easy keep. Have 2 of the mech lines. I've been really liking the mecha full art basics. Okay, pretty sick hand. Let's put back second monkey. Was there another elf stream recently? I think I played like a league with elves the other day. Okay, up against Hammer. All right, I think drawing a second Thoughtseize, I think it's pretty common that in these spots I want to go Thoughtseize into Thoughtseize Ragavan. Since I go Mounted Ragavan, I can't play all my 1-mana spells in time. Opponent's hand is great. Sigarda's Aid, Steel Sheeper's Gift, Stoneforge Mystic Sentinel. I probably have to take the Sigarda's Aid. The Sentinel is really annoying, though. I feel like I can't beat the Sentinel. If I take the Sentinel too, like the Ragavan, I guess they just go Stoneforge. Yeah, I have to take the Aid. So does it work out better if I play Ragavan turn 1? If I play Ragavan, no, not really. Not really. This is definitely a matchup that gets better post board, obviously with all of our permission. Okay. So I can them going Stoneforge Mystic for Cauldron, I guess works out pretty well. Because now I can just Thoughtseize that without them having to getting to tax this. We play our Ragavan. This Giver is a problem. We don't have too much follow-up, but I think we're doing okay. Goodbye, Lucy. Hopefully the rain has stopped. Athena gets so anxious during the rain. She used to be very brave and not afraid of anything, and that all changed 1/4 of July. Okay, game 2. Gonna bring in the Boseijus, the Mites, the Pyrite Spellbomb, the Terminates. A lot of sideboard for this matchup. Cutting Nihil Spellbomb, Research Desk, Mox Amber, we're just better tutor targets. Shadowspear is somewhat cuttable, but I think I'm also interested in going down 4th Thoughtseize, 4th Ragavan, 3rd Soul. Could maybe even cut down I guess we go down a land. Then we can cut 4th Bitter Reunion, 4th Goryos. I'm kind of done to cut 4th Goryos. Just be a bit more controlling. A little trimming. Alright. Easy keep. Yeah, Bitter Reunion is the glue. You can't get rid of the Reunion ever. I haven't seen any of the blue-white Wrenn decks floating around on Moto. I mean, yeah, they were kind of popular for a couple days, I guess. They're fine. They're good. Maybe a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I really didn't like them very much when Blood Moon was just everywhere. There was like a month ago, Blood Moon was so common. Blood Moon is definitely cooling down a lot. So like, you know, blue white splashing for Wrenn and Six is fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's kind of the issue with like control, and an issue with like a lot of archetypes in Modern is there's like not really a bad way to build any deck. There's really not a bad way to build any deck. Okay, there's some bad ways, but you know, there's for like any archetype, there's usually like 2 or 3 camps that's like totally reasonable, and I don't have super strong opinions honestly on blue white with Wrenn versus blue white without Wrenn at the moment. I'd love to just take a trade here. Thank you. A fine deal. Does feel kind of bad to not get the Saga in play this turn, but I think that ramping is a bit more important with the Soul in play. What is this? Additional downtime tomorrow? Outage should be shorter than normal 2 hours or less. Okay. Well, we will adjust accordingly, I guess. Ideally be live after the downtime. When does it start? 9 AM Pacific, so 2 hours after the usual start time. Okay, land for turn's not ideal. Opponent grabs a Cauldra. I think we start with the Thoughtseize. Like any good turn. You could have Saga. If I Saga, I don't get to bring the land back with Soul of Windgrace, which is, I'm pretty sure, something I already talked about. Hammer, Spell Pierce, Relic Cauldron. I just want to take the hammer. You can brace the Cauldron. Let me discard Saga. I'm just gonna bring back Saga with the Soul of Windgrace. Oh. Man, I love Soul of Windgrace. Do have to deal myself a lot of damage. Time to build a Soul of Windgrace EDH deck. Oh man, that actually sounds really sick. I have like the nice art one, or the, you know, the showcase one. You want to see your Soul ADH deck? Nah. I don't know. Maybe a little. Okay, Relic and Pop. Glad I didn't top deck a hammer. Their hand is Spell Pierce, Cauldra, Mystery card. That Mystery card is the worst card it can be, or one of the worst ones. Another copy of Sigarda's Aid. Let's... I usually like to discard Saga, just return it, since if I'm going to use something else for mana, there's usually a better... I'd rather have the colored mana, if that makes sense. And then I guess I play my Bloodstained Mire so that I can activate Haywire Mite and make a Saga token. Nice to be able to, you know, kill a hammer with this, not be dead to the Nexus. Pretty likely to get a Pithing Needle for Nexus, although I'm also pretty likely to just have lethal. Okay, awesome. That felt great. Oh, I didn't bring in the Needle. Okay, I should have brought in the Needle. Get Trim 4th Reunion. Maybe Trim 4th Titania. I don't know. It's obviously like the whole deck. Soul is worse than the draw. It's pretty good that game. I guess I can get 3rd Ragavan on the draw. Worst player here, 13 months. Thank you. Yeah, it was just a normal join game. Which is like, honestly, like, I think the real appeal of this deck, right, is that this deck has the combo, has some crazy turns with Bitter Reunion, Titania, Goryos, just regular Titania, Bitter Reunion, but also just has like plenty of like normal Jund draws. And so in that way, like you're like, you know, much less vulnerable to the efficient hate that exists in Modern. Points on that Multifor. You've got a pretty good hand. Well, not the most climactic end to match 3 here, but we're 3-0. But we're 3-0. Okay, on the play for match 4. Could Thoughtseize our own Titania and Goryo's Vengeance set. Sounds sick. This hand's really sick. I don't know. As a top 1% viewer, according to my Twitch recap, I request a league of my 2017 pet deck. You'll need to unban Seeming Spirit Guide to play it, but I'm sure you can work that out. Yeah, I'll threaten to take down Wizards with a single tweet if they don't unban Seeming Spirit Guide, but only if it's playable in Swinda's pet deck. Of course. Just as any card that would come off the ban list should only be playable in the pet deck you want to include it in. Evan, 42 months, thank you. Long time. Misty. I think there should be a ban list reset, unban everything, and let the format shake out a couple months. Yeah, I've seen people post this on Twitter a few times too. I typically think this opinion translates to, I'm bored, let's do something, which is fine. Boredom is not a crime. Oh, maybe it should be. But that's mostly what I hear when I read this particular comment. So here I can go Thoughtseize my Titania, Goryo's Titania, hit them for 5, and I get to ramp, and I get to have only one 5/3. I think if I could get two 5/3s, I'd be into it. Don't know that I really want to do that here, though. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get, I guess, basic swamp so that I can be a bit better against a possible main deck Blood Moon. I'm sequencing in this order, so I get to Thoughtseize after the Connive resolves. And Blyban 32 months, thank you to my favorite Pioneer streamer. That's me.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie.
If you throw up with this, you have an aversion to coffee.
Yeah, I just developed an aversion to coffee literally overnight, which would be probably best for my health, honestly. Fire Ice. Is this Fire Ice and Murktide? It's kind of cool. Let's take the Murktide. I just think that with Modern Power Increase, some of the stuff that was banned is okay now. Yeah, I agree. Some of the stuff is probably okay to take off the ban list. A lot of it is like a question of philosophy. Just because a card is not broken, should you remove it from the modern ban list? I think for me at least, I typically encourage unbanning things that would lead to actively better gameplay rather than just being like not broken. But there is some contention there. But also, I would say the majority of the cards on the modern ban list should stay. I think the vast majority. For me, really, the only card I think like should absolutely come off is Bridge from Below. Bridge from Below never should have been banned in the first place. I think it would be, especially with the Evoke incarnations in the format, like I think the Evoke incarnations would have some like interesting and neat counterplay to to Bridge from Below. I think that I'm a big supporter of freeing Bridge from Below, but everybody's got their own opinions. Everybody wants to card on band or two. Ooh, my very own Ledger Shredder. I would love to do that, but I think instead I'm supposed to just Titania. You're not one of the Splinter Twin fanboys? I think Twin would be okay to unban. And listen, if I were ever to advocate for Splinter Twins unban, it would be simply way too biased, as a Splinter Twin unban would just lead me to become the richest man on Twitch TV. You know what I mean? A Splinter Twin unban means hours and hours and hours of content, just like weeks and weeks of content with thousands of viewers. It would just be the sickest shit ever. I would do multiple 24-hour streams. I would be richer than Jeffrey Bezos. It would just be unfair. Unless Twin sucks. Well, I would be so rich that I could pay all of my opponents to throw games against me. Richer than Bezos on Bezos' platform. You think Bezos could resist the Splinter Twin content? There's no way. 0% chance. He'd be donating to me like crazy. I draw a Zuran Orb. Zuran Orb would be so sick. Although, I guess I might die to Murktide anyways. Yeah, like Hypergenesis is a great example of this. Hypergenesis would suck in Modern. It would be not competitive. It would be worse than Glimpser Tomorrow. But also, Hypergenesis is, in my opinion, an incredibly, a deck that leads to pretty bad gameplay. a really bad for gameplay deck. And so, just leaving it on the ban list doesn't cost very much. And I would just leave that one on the ban list. I think we're going to be a little short here, unfortunately. Tibble's Trickery. Yeah, Trickery also probably wouldn't be that crazy. Should also stay on the ban list, probably. You could go on and on and on. Like, people always go, Jitte would be fine, but like, listen, if you unban Jitte, Hammer Time plays it forever. Hammer Time literally has that card in their main deck forever. And, I just don't really feel like that makes Modern a better place, you know? Okay, So if I go Mox Amber, find exactly Zuran Orb, Goryo's Vengeance Titania, I have to fetch Shock. So fetch Shock down to 1, and I gain 12 life, which is not enough here, unfortunately. What about if I find Bitter Reunion? If I find Bitter Reunion, I think that's not enough either. Ah. Okay, tough stuff. Yeah, Fury is warping for small creature decks, but also on Benjite. Yeah, I know exactly. Okay, so now Spellbomb is a card I like against Murktide. I usually like Lantern, but 2 Spellbombs is nice. Terminates are nice. I think playing a Haywire Mite or a Needle for Unlicensed Tourist is correct. Needle is probably a bit of a better answer to that. Mox Amber probably goes in this matchup. 1 or 2 Thoughtseize goes. Shadowspear goes, I think. Maybe just go down to 1 Thoughtseize. I'd really like to have at least 2. Can maybe cut the 4th Goryos. Goryos is kind of nice though. Am I so crazy for thinking Death Rite wouldn't be a bad unbanned? I think I don't know. Crazy is probably not a nice word to describe that. Maybe I'll cut the desk. Crazy is not a nice word to say, but Deathrite Shaman would be a modern staple till the end of time. It would be in like a huge variety of decks and would be a format staple you'd have to play against all the time. And this argument that like if Ragavan exists, why can't Deathrite Shaman? Well, you want to play those. You want to play against both Ragavan and Deathrite Shaman all day every day because you'll have like an infinite amount of like Ragavan, Wrenn and Six. I guess Shaman and Wrenn and Six actually have some tension, but it's just I don't know. Shaman would be really good. I think it should stay on the ban list too. Probably just supposed to bid a reunion here. Trying to find lands. Obviously they might spell Pierce, that'd be okay too, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm just discarding Spellbomb. Okay, there's a land. They're playing Grist in the deck. I consider Grist. Goryo's Vengeance Grist is pretty cool, but you don't really have like the tokens to sack through is the problem. Dashing Ragavan. I probably need to prioritize Thoughtseizing this next turn because of Blood Moon. I don't know if there's anything I could draw that really changes that. Does that change that? Not really. Yeah, not really. Okay, Iteration. We have Terminate for Murktide. Alright, I think pretty easy Iteration snatch here. Then Heat the presumed dashed Ragavan. Then maybe get Nihil Spellbomb. We'll see. Next turn Nihil Spellbomb plus Wrenn and Six plus draw a card from Spellbomb. Kill the Channeler seems kind of nice. No dash Ragavan. No Ragavan at all. So I guess let's go and get Blood Crypt since you have Boseiju. We're probably playing as a land. Alright, so let's get the Nihil Spellbomb. And then I think we're supposed to play Wrenn first. Because if they have Spell Pierce, I'd rather just pay for Spell Pierce. And we could just ping and then we can sack the Spellbomb after we ping. Okay. Ping here. We have a few 1-mana Color spells we could draw off the Nihil Spellbomb, so I suppose we sack the Spellbomb now. You have to second on our turn anyways. They draw 2 cards in response to this. This is, I think, incorrect. I feel like they would rather have the Charm in the graveyard for the Murktide that's in their hand, although maybe that's Maybe they do value the Surveil more than just an instant or sorcery in the yard. Maybe that's kind of an interesting point. Okay, but we pass back. They could Ragavan kill the Wrenn and Six. That's fine. Sometimes your Wrenn and Six gets Ragavan. Thoughts on 1 cookbook to 2 Saga, discard Legends? The thing about your things, your Legends are just like pretty castable after you're triggering Saga. After triggering Saga, you're gonna have 4 or 5 mana a lot of the time. So like you'll just cast your Legends instead of discarding them and Goryo's Vengeancing them. Okay, they exile Ragavan to their iteration. Then presumably dash. Yeah, you would really only do that, in my opinion, if you were playing, like Gristlebrand, you know. Sadly can't haste, although kind of interested in blocking the Ragavan anyways. Opponent's hand is, I believe, 2 Ragavans, Murktide, playing the Steam Ends, so 4 mystery cards after that. What's my favorite graveyard hate? I don't know. Favorite graveyard hate. Not Turn the Earth, I'll tell you that. Dothi? Maybe Dothi, yeah. I haven't played much Dothi lately. This was at one point a Dothi stream for sure. Yeah, top 5 favorite graveyard hate. Oh yeah, Lion Sash is my favorite. Lion Sash was my first ever preview card. Lion Sash is also like absolutely a son of mine that I'm very disappointed in. But a son that I love nonetheless. So I'm gonna heat this up my turn, so if I terminate on my opponent's turn, I'm not letting them connive if they counter this. This is fine. Could upkeep terminate the Shredder, maybe. I think I'm okay not. Knowing they have Murktide in their hand. No dash. Murktide, 2 mystery cards in my opponent's hand. There's the Murktide. This card's just a land. Murktide's a 6/6. Their draw was really good this game. Maybe our draw will end up being better. Against 2D sideboard and Sarah's Emissary. Dude, creativity player. I mean, Hammer Time is like the main answer, but like. Every creativity player I've talked to about like their one of tutor targets of their sideboard, they have not been able to articulate very well exactly what role the Sarah's Emissary or Iona or Emrakul serves. Not that, you know. Not that you always have to be able to articulate well, or not that it has to have like a super, you know, narrow purpose or anything. But I did set up the Shadowspear. Probably getting, oh, I guess I'm down both Nihil Spellbombs. Do I actually have any tutor targets? I would set up the Amber. Cited this out. Get Needle. No, I cited out the Shadowspear. Could also haste with Bitter Reunion here. Getting Archmage's Charmed. Oh, Zuran Orb. Easy Zuran Orb. Of course. Good old, like, actual fair Zuran Orb. Funny. So, I think I Ragavan and then just sack a Reunion. Good old honest fair Zuran Orb, just gaining life. Broken. Oh, to Warer. Okay, I guess Bitter Reunion that into play next turn. I'm still attacking for exactly 8, so I think attacking and forcing a trade or a chump is still correct. And then I can get basic forest and then reunion Windgrace into the yard here. I let my opponent connive, but thankfully with this Zuran Orb in play, I'm not particularly afraid of death. Just like the same like normal fear of death today. Wish I was Goryo's Vengeancing Titania though. Okay. They have 5 damage, I'm at 6. Think I can just take the hit. Well, to me, you have stops and damage and combat not upkeep. I set the stops and upkeep when I need them. I know it's weird that I have these. I'm literally incapable of getting rid of them because I played with them so long. But I used to play a lot of limited. And when you play a lot of limited, like these stops, I think are really important. Well, I guess I can Titania and haste everything. Although the problem with that is that's just way weaker to a counterspell than terminate Goryo's. We should be fine here. Yeah, we could have Titania, sack everything, sack reunion, attack 4. You know, like 30. Win game 2 though. Win game 2. I think now that they've seen the Goryo's Vengeance, I'll trib 1 and bring in the 3rd Thoughtseize, especially because I kind of want to be able to Thoughtseize Blood Moon a bit more easily this game. Maybe I was supposed to bring in Haywire Mite. Problem is, it's just so hard to tutor Mite against a Blood Moon. Have to keep this. His hand's pretty cold to a turn 1 Ragavan, probably. Put him almost a 6. What are we kneeling? Saw no targets. Unlicensed Hearse and Engineered Explosives. Mostly Hearse. We're Goryo's deck, you know. They do have the Ragavan. We do have a Wrenn and Six though, so maybe we can clear the way for a Wrenn and Six ping next turn. I kind of just want to take the bauble. No, they can just go Shredder plus Channel next turn if I do that. On the worst shape. Now we are in much worse shape. They get to go DRC plus Wrenn and Six. Thank you, Ragavan. I mean, it's okay, I guess. What are they gonna do with all those lands? They have no Urza Saga to recur. Needle Monkey, so they don't get the ability. Oh, they're definitely supposed to fetch before bobbling here. Unless they drew Counterspell, they're just holding up Counterspell. They graveyarded Consider? I guess they're doing that because they're shuffling anyways. So they will have Delirium too. With the Bauble Sack. Get Needle Wrenn and Six, actually. After they kill mine. It's funny. What do you Needle in this matchup? Obviously, the Wrenn and Six they steal. It's like you've never played this matchup before. Although me drawing another Wrenn and Six means I probably sideboarded poorly. Hoping the Wrenn and Six takes the head. Probably will. Yep. Picks up another island. And wins the game. Pretty good. Pretty good. This deck's not exactly resilient to Blood Moon, chat. What can I say? One of the 4.3 is what I could say. Okay, GG. Can I just get Basic Mountain? If I get Basic Mountain here. I spent 800 in Goyfs, was not great. Yeah, I know a lot of people that spend 800 in Goyfs. Yeah, back then you could buy a house or one copy of Tarmogoyf. What deck plays Living In, Stripe Riverwinder? Okay, so we have Necromancia, 2 more Graveyard Hate spells. It's 5 sideboard cards. Yeah, Magic not a cheap hobby for sure. Not yet. I have plans to. So here's my long plan to save Magic. I'm gonna convince Wizards to unban Splinter Twin. No one will be able to resist the allure of Splinter Twin content. Not even all the billionaires in the world, and they will donate their billions to me, and I will redistribute the wealth by buying Magic decks for all of you, buying whatever deck you like. One deck for every member of this planet. And then Magic will be saved. Hopefully I had a grief off this Ragavan. Well, I guess I'm going to cast Titania. They pitched a Shardless Agent really fast. I'm gonna kill my own Ragavan. Not that a Ragavan is gonna save me. But if they're pitching a Shardless Agent that fast, they're definitely cascading this turn. I'd rather have a pack of proxies. Alright, feeling like we're probably going to lose game 1 against Living In to fate worse than death. Wish I could Goryo's Titania. Okay, let's go to game 2. Bring in the Necromancias, more Graveyard Hate. Gonna be cutting the Unholy Heat. Gonna be cutting the Research Desk probably. Could maybe cut the Shadowspear. Although sometimes like they just have like 1 or 2 creatures in play, and Shadowspear is actually really relevant. I don't know if this is gonna be one of those games. The desk is also like not very good in this matchup, I guess. Oh, then I also probably want Boseiju's and Mite for possible ley lines. So maybe like 3 total Boseiju, and I could go down to land somewhat easily. And that's a way to cut the Shadowspear. And I can cut a Soul also. Okay, good enough to keep. Got Graveyard Hate, got Thoughtseize, have a Mite for a Leyline. Random Goryo's Vengeance hanging out. Got Titania. I mean, you could trim a Titania. Our deck is also like completely built around it. I'll add Mog Flunkies, now I'm on board. Should have led with that. Dude, that my opponent's play. I love honestly Living In players. Y'all don't get enough credit for how freaking fast you play. I love it. I love how fast Living In players play. Spell in the stack. Answer it. Answer it as fast as possible. Yeah, I agree that Pioneer players can be a little slower. 2 Goryo's Vengeances off the top. Our deck's built around that card. It's probably good. Calgary, we had time in round, a round 1 event, 1 Breach Mirror, 1 Living In Mirror. Guess how long they're 5 additional turns. I bet those took a while, huh? Okay, the Living In Mirror is probably the exception to this rule. Okay, so I can Soul Guide Lantern to get rid of a Street Wraith. Kind of need to draw a card. Kind of gonna die to the Street Wraith. I'm gonna not. Oh, I guess I should have. Sorry, there's no reason to second response. Obviously, should have let my opponent resolve that first. That was pretty bad. Because 5 a turn is fine, 8 a turn is probably unbearable. Although, did they just have a hard cast Leyline? Oh. You can sack the Haywire Mite target itself. You can't. Haywire Mite can only target non-creatures. And the Haywire Mite is going to die and trigger anyways. Alright, kind of an anticlimactic end. We can do another one though. These are going pretty fast today. Oh, why didn't they attack with the agent? I really wish they didn't have the Leyline in play too, because I would at least have dreams of like Titania being out here, because I could go Titania, Zuran Orb. Yeah, blocking the Ragavan. I guess. Because like, I kind of just need to fair Zuran Orb again, because I boarded out the Shadowspear. So I get down to 3. They attack me for 6. I gain 4, sucking 2 lands. I mean, oh, make a token, sack the swamps, block the street wraiths, lose to Living End. Wow. Such a juicy play. It just loses to Living End, though, is the problem. Yeah, I guess I could have played Spellbomb instead of making a token. I'm losing anyways. No, I'm just attacking them for lethal next turn. I don't think it's correct, guys. Sorry. The line is really cool, but how do you beat a Living End? Well, I'll just make another token. If I get Starless Agent, they have to do it now, and I'll just be able to make 2 tokens. I also get to get a Nihil Spellbomb off the next Saga. We have to sack 2 swamps to gain Forest Fire. Might as well sack 3 swamps. Well, putting these 2 street wraiths in their graveyard is horrible. You're going to lose to the street wraiths when they just come right back. Like you have to really forgo a lot of like traditional like thoughts and conventions when you play this matchup, I think. Yeah, I don't think I make a token because I have them dead even through 1 removal spell. Also losing to Endurance Subtlety. No, they have to deal with two creatures there. They have to deal with 2 creatures. Oh yeah, sorry. I always forget that you can sack Saga with a trick on the stack. I played like these decks a while, and I always miss that line. Not that the 2 life mattered a ton. It mattered a little bit. We won. We won. They did bring in Leyline. So maybe we're gonna go minus a Vengeance plus a Might. We won. How did we win? I'm not 100% sure I could answer that question. I turn to Necromancia. Pretty good. Do you want Spear? I don't know. Spear's hard. It's like a lot of times you draw it, you hate it. You have a Zuran Orb to gain life if you need to gain life. Put out Snap Moles to 5. Cycles. That was a really satisfying game to win. Honestly, like the sack all your swamps block both street wraiths line was really cool, but I would think it was like definitely incorrect. Unfortunately, it was one of the coolest lines we've like had access to in a long time though. My opponent mulled to 5. Okay, so that feels good. Let's, I think, pump the brakes a little bit so we can try to Thoughtseize a Force of Negation. And then set up to Necromancia next turn. I think I'll just take the 1 mana cycler. Opponent's hand not good. Salmon, gifting a sub, thank you. So I drew a land for turn, but we can now Necromancer their living ends and win. You can also cast Leyline of the Void. They're definitely going to think that's what we're doing with us tapping 3 black here. But we know that they have Foundation Breaker anyways. Alright, so we're going to name Curator of Mysteries. Now we can name Curator. Opponent has Subtlety, Force of Vigor, Foundation Breaker, Violent Outburst. We already knew their exact hand. With Saga this turn. It's a good draw. Force of Vigor, kill better Reunion. I don't think I've seen that before. This is always the nice part about Jund Saga, though, is like you just like don't really mind when they Force of Vigor, Foundation Breaker your Sagas as much as other decks. I'm just gonna leave the Saga to return with the Soul of Windgrace next turn. Definitely props to my opponent for playing it out. My opponent does have Subtlety, so I guess I need to bait them to cast Subtlety by blocking the Ragavan. They might block the Mite, that would be okay too. Presumably they block the Mite so they can attack the Wrenn, but their life total is also really low. They just don't have good options here, really. To gain 2 live. Play a Street Wraith. World is pretty much our oyster, and opponent realizes that we 4-1 that league, so feeling good about that. Wish it was a 5-0. That Murktide matchup was kind of tough. I'm going to open the chest. We'll do at least 1 more. Ooh, everybody's favorite card, Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. Yeah, the believers are probably shaking and crying from the